So now we have our second speaker. So our second speaker is second-year college student, and she will be graduating from Jharkhand Raksha Sakti University, forgive me for the pronunciation, where she is taking the course Computer Application and Cybersecurity. Let us all welcome Ms. Sumati Sinha.
Hello everyone, so I'm doing my presentation now. So once again, hello everyone, myself Sumati Sinha, and I'm given the opportunity to speak for today's topic. The content which I'm having is current situation, challenges, skill-based education, challenges, changes. The current situation, as we all know, COVID-19 resulted in schools shut all across the world. Education has changed dramatically with distinct rise of e-learning. During lockdown, government used the electronic media to ensure learning for students. Even before COVID-19, there was a highly adoption of education technology. A key part of how education changed is to incorporate new technology and topic. This increased the use of online tools and technology to enhance learning experiences, which obviously brings some changes, that is in online and traditional classes. Actually, each suit its own particular requirement. Each option has its own benefit. But the first one is student-teacher interaction. In this, the student and teacher interact with face-to-face, and face-to-face interaction is there, which is obviously not this kind of interaction is not in e-learning. Obviously there are, but the kind of interaction that we are having back then in the offline classes, that's not there. But what goes actually missing is practical, which is obviously done in real time. And the flexibility of learning is which come through online learning, obviously, which come on online learning. Student can study while in their selected time. In traditional learning, actually, each teacher has their own particular time and particular place. And if we are talking about participation, actually both classroom learning and online classes accept student to participate, but in traditional classes, students voluntarily participate in discussion. However, in online classes, people may be shy or unwilling to contribute. A student can practice while they are doing their study. They can fit study around their work schedule and can immediately practice new concept by applying them. With online study, with classroom learning, this is not often the case, which lead to my next subtopic, that is skill-based education. Basically, it is about I'm sorry for that. Basically, it is about planning, implementing, and analyzing skill gained through learning method. It enhances creativity, as it push students to think out of the box and innovate new way to approach matters. Encourage teamwork. We all know that collaboration is a key to good output, and through skill-based learning, children are taught to think and work together as much as they are taught to be independent. This way, they can play on each other's strength. Skill will help them find solution to complex problem. Problem-solving skill helps students to tackle day-to-day issue in a much better way. One skill which come along with all this skill is the skill of adaptability. It shows the quality of being able to adjust with different people or condition. Students must be able to adjust themselves in different situation. What I wanted to say that in 21st century, education is important, but skills are necessary. We need hand-on skill for one simple reason, that that bookish knowledge can only help us taste unlimited success. The introduction of skill-based learning uh, helps students to prepare for future, help to identify the different career opportunity. Now coming to my next subtopic, which is challenges we are facing in 21st century education system. The first one is mental health, which impact the academic performance and success of student. Poor mental health can impact lack of motivation and problem focusing, which lead to failing grades. We all know college already having a stressful environment after an year-long pandemic. Uh, as the students return to campus, they are there will be a wide range of mental health concern which cannot be solved by traditional counseling alone. Yet, last yet not least is humanity. We Technology is everywhere, and although that create great opportunity for us, but we have to make sure that we keep our humanity. It is easy to criticize and challenge people when you are behind a keyboard, because you're not necessarily seeing what kind of impact you have on other human being. Uh, I'm not saying that we don't challenge each other for growth, but how we do is crucial. Because there are some challenges, some queries that I'm having. So thank you so much for listening to me.
All right, thank you very much, Sumati, for that very wonderful speech. So we learned about the skill-based learning that we have to learn in school. So now we will move on to our question and answer. But before we continue, I would like to persuade everyone to please turn on their cameras if possible every Q&A, or just to liven up the conference for today.
I have a question for you. Do you prefer classroom learning or e-learning? Which one do you personally prefer?
I actually prefer traditional classroom learning, because the interaction we're having with teacher or instructor, which help us to grab things more actively, and we learn much better in that way. Because in online uh, basically most of the people don't pay attention. Some are, I'm not saying that nobody, but maximum don't pay attention. So I think that traditional classroom learning is more efficient.
Yeah, I think I agree to that. I think many people today are, especially during the pandemic, of course, many are taking online classes and they found it very ineffective, sorry. And also, I think most are even discouraged to go to school, to the point where some people even drop out of school, which is very unfortunate for some people. So yeah, I think that was a great answer from Sumati. Thank you very much. So does anybody else have any question? Right, so maybe I could ask my own personal question. So, well, you mentioned that traditional classroom is still more effective, but do you think that skill-based education is fit for online learning?
Actually, yes, because skill is what, so, we cannot say that what I can say, skill based learning, because in online classes we do get some more time, because uh, because time management, we don't have to go 4 or 5 kilometers go long distance. Obviously that time saves, and in that time students can learn another thing that can help them for future, can help them to make a more creative. Then I guess this is.
I see. Yeah, so I do think that aside from its, albeit being online, there are still some benefits to other students, especially, again, like what you said, some people travel kilometers away just to go to school, and I think that does hinder them from learning other basic skills. So thank you very much for your talk. So lastly, before we move on to the next speaker, is there anyone who wants to ask a question? Yes, Mr. Gio.
Hello. So you mentioned that mental health remains one of the challenges in the current educational system. So how can schools create a more mental health friendly environment for our students?
Actually, there are lots of pressure we are having in colleges and school. Uh, uh, in during the examination time, I'm currently having an examination time. So I'm the kind of pressure we are having, because in India, I'm talking basically about India, that we are more focused for marks, around mm, actually focused on marks only. We are not focusing the knowledge we are gaining, but marks we are, what kind of marks we are getting, that makes more mental pressure. So I need the society and the schools to be more liberal on the marking systems, and that's liberal, but more focus on how focus on learning, knowledging about the subject. So that's that can make more, what can I say, more, you know what I'm saying now.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
and to
do.
add to that, I think that was a great answer. So she mentioned that the maths are more important in at least in her experience in India, and that she encourages schools and society to at least be open to the mental health of its students as well. So I think Gio, I also have a question for you. You are taking online classes in DLSU, is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so do you think is there any effect of online classes with your mental health, or how do you think you could cope up with that kind of setting?
Okay. So since I'm studying chemical engineering, that would need a lot of laboratory. But given that it is online, we're unable to do that. So I feel like that has been a very big effect, because a lot of engineers who are studying right now in my university are not confident in their own skills. And I think they're right to not be confident, since none of us have practiced being in a lab. So I think a way to improve it would be for the government to reopen schools faster and to create a better vaccination program. But other than that, I think by supporting each other as students, we'll be able to weather the tide until classes reopen.
Yeah, so thank you very much for that answer. So just a reminder, audiences are also free to open their cameras and ask the speakers if they have any questions or clarifications from their presentations. So again, you may open your camera if you choose to. So once again, thank you very much, Ms. Sumati, for that very insightful talk, and as well as for answering our questions.
Thank you.